All right. Grand Rising. The market is open. It is currently 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday, April the 10th, 2025. We are here live in the mix. Live. All right, so this morning at 8:30 a.m., about an hour ago, we had a pretty big data report. And that would be CPI, although it doesn't look like it moved the market too much. CPI numbers, the core number came in at 0.1% month over month. Forecast was 0.3%. So inflation coming in a bit weaker than expected. Unemployment claims pretty much at the forecast of 223K, a little bit up from last month. Now we've got some Fed members speaking right now. We have some more speaking at 10 a.m. We have some natural gas numbers at 10:30. We have some more Fed speak as well at 12 p.m. And then at 1 p.m. we have a 30-year bond auction, which actually should be kind of interesting because of how the bond market's been moving the last few days. Be interested to see how that plays out. Because we've got the dollar coming down, euro going up. VIX has come down quite a bit since it's 57 high. The U.S. 10-year yield is off of the 450 high from yesterday at midnight, down to 4.326, but up nonetheless over the last few days. ES here. So let's just strip everything. And we can see yesterday ES made a massive bullish candle. Likely it looks like we're trying to retrace back into Tuesday's order block here, as well as Monday high. So going to be looking, at this area as a possible support resistance flip, which will also coincide with the 5,300 psychological number. So right now it's looking like we're trying to pull back to that level around here to Monday's high. From there, we'll see if we get support. Otherwise, we'll just retrace this whole move. On the week, you can see we've taken all of this liquidity, had a pretty technical bounce out of here, which was also a support resistance flip from the all-time high, or the last all-time high in January of 2022, in which we have made a nice bounce up, pretty much filling this candle. So we actually could just continue to see more downside. But, the news the other day was bullish. But we're no matter what, we're still going to trade the charts and the technicals. Volume since this low. Yeah, we do have a shelf right here. and it ends right at this high, so this could be a good spot. The thing is if it comes back into this level right below 552.80, it can literally just come all the way back down to the 5,000s really quickly, because there was no volume in this move. It's just a big liquidity jump. Okay. Other than that, it looks like some stocks across the board are coming down. So we made a little bit of money last night in the overnight session, so not looking to push it too hard right here in the morning or get ahead of ourselves. Just happy to be here. We got the Masters coming on, so let's get that going.
Got his hands on the club properly, and that's exactly what he did. Now, we're not seeing
Scotty Scheffler warming up. Very nice. All right, so we're coming down to take this low now. Could see something along the lines of this. Kind of waiting to see how this. We have a pivot as well right on this level of 5,300. So this looks like a pretty good level to see if we support and resistance flip. Something I didn't notice actually last night is that we retested the previous month low, previous quarter low again, and actually, oh wow, yeah. So this is a big, pretty support and resistance flip here. Not only was it the previous month and previous quarter level, it was the previous week level. We tried to get back into previous week value. So today it'd be really important to try to get back up 54.70 to move higher. If not, if we're just gonna keep staying below, we're just gonna retrace this whole move back down to the previous week low. So first level 5,300, then 5,180, and then filling this imbalance around 5080. So about every 100 points here. So we'll be watching to see how this. Don't really want to short down here. Look at the regular trading hours. Yeah, so obviously we have a gap down. This has been filled. Very good. Which makes me want to look at the index real quick. SPX. That, yeah, gap down. Gunning for the imbalance. We never made it up to this gap, did we? All right. And take a look at the NASDAQ as well now. Alright, and the NASDAQ, obviously going to be showing an extremely similar situation here as the S. Our weekly range. Coming down, looking like it wants to retrace this move. Indeed, it does. Now, a little bit different. It's retesting the previous week value area low, so come in, retest, get a bigger move down. Previous month value area low and previous month, yep. So pretty big support and resistance flips here that are being rejected. If we can't come back up today and reclaim these, I'm gonna expect that this whole move was a farce, essentially. I hate to say it, but I got to. So pivot on this is down here. So it's NQ. Monday's high is down at the 300s. Yeah. Let's see. Chart. Alright, look at gold as well. Gold just continued to trek. Quite the move Mr. Gold is having. Looking like it wants to come up and hit these highs, doesn't it? Got a high at an alert for if that comes back up above gold. If we come take this low, Come back into this consolidation on gold and then get a move up. I'll watch that. What's up, big boy? Speaking of rats, the rats in Evil Days' basement last night killed my cat. Killed my fucking cat, bro. Not even kidding, it just passed away. Get any viewers on the YouTube? I don't know. No, nobody really watches the stream live on YouTube. I just kind of use it as like to record or like to have the stream, you know, recorded. Yeah, I had a Hellcat, but it fucking died trying to kill the hell rat behemoth. And I swear I gave it some anchovies, but that motherfucker died. And how hyped is the Masters are coming on today, baby? Or they're on right now. We got the Masters in the background. We got the charts moving and flowing. Well, they're not really doing too much. Yeah, we're gonna go grow our kitten after we splash some chickens, you know? Gotta go splash some chickens. Oh yeah, GG's. GG's, buddy. Now you don't get to play. You don't get to play the funnest game ever in all of America and Canada. Live. But how funny is it, man? If we had stayed short, literally last night, where we took the short, like when are we gonna start catching these, you know, 150 overnight bangers? We'd still literally be in the trade. I gotta pull up the RuneScape account. Yeah, either way, you would trail it, and it always has like one little small move back up just to get everyone fucking out. Yeah, the chart's not actually looking that great. I mean, this move, like if we look at it from a volume perspective, like from this low, you know, obviously, if you look over here at the histogram, this whole move up had no volume whatsoever. So if we lose Monday's high, this little 5,300 area, we'll just fall straight back down to 5,100, pretty much. There's nothing really stopping us in this whole impulse. You like that solid, bud? You like that candle? Wait, what did I say? You like that solid? You like that candle, bud? That sounds kind of wacky. Yeah, I mean, she's a news candle. We also had CPI today. They didn't really do much, but this is the data high right here. So I could see we come up and take this high and then come back down. I think we might actually have a long opportunity right here on 5637 retracement here. Yeah. Oh, really? Because that's what I was about to do. Possibly. I just want to see the reaction. Yeah, the overnight low sweep, but I'm not seeing... It's already moved a pretty good amount. They did just reject the point of control, but
order filled.
I'd like to see it come up and take this high up to the 440s. Wouldn't that be nice? You lost your sub, bud. GG the free prime. You're just gonna have to wait. You're just not allowed to. You're not allowed to sub until the big times. You're not gonna get all the cool emotes. Which I need to make a new emote. Maybe I'll make a new one today. Oh, coming back down quite hard here. I guess I might have entered a little late here.
Order submitted. Order filled. Order submitted.
It's looking kind of heavy. Gotta get a gamble in. All right, come on.
Order filled.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. Oil coming down quite a bit as well. Looks like everything is actually retracing yesterday's move, which is awesome. I actually was looking at some stuff. That would be awesome, actually. I'd love for all of this just to be a fake out. But even on the ES, if we'll notice, we actually rejected the previous quarter low and also the previous month low. So this is actually a pretty big support resistance flip here. We're actually rejecting it. We also were trying to get back into the weekly value. Rejected that, came down the previous week EQ. This looks like it wants to come back down. All the way down. And this was just a big resistance test. Even though the news is good, the market must know something that we don't. I don't know. It's starting to look just like a big lower high.
Order filled.
I'm actually going to short this breakdown here. This is looking heavy. I want to move down to about 53, this level. Possible reprieve right here or relief long out of there. Oh, there's a 10 o'clock candle. Forgot there's a bunch of Fed speak today as well, which could make the market a little bit goofy. As we see just some volatility coming in there. We got 2 Fed speakers about to come on and speak here at 10 a.m. So just keeping the risk small, right, until we hit a big level. There it goes. See if we can get some continued movement.
Order filled.
Close that. Just take the scalp for now. There it goes. Coming up to our 5,300 level now, which will be also a retest. It will be a support resistance flip of Monday, Tuesday high. This level, this little area, this pivot, 5,300 to 5,285, let's call it. I think it's going to be very important for the rest of the day. And if we start moving below this, yeah, we're tracing this whole candle, so. Now gold is looking very bullish on the weekly. Looks like it went and did its liquidity sweep. I'd love a little bit of a retracement to get into a move with this continuation. It looks like it's gunning for all-time highs again. Most definitely. 3050.9. 3050.9. Okay, yeah. Oh shoot! If we could just get a minor retracement back here, it doesn't look like we're going to. We're gonna create a new order block, and then we're gonna have boom, boom, boom. But I'd love to see it just come sweep this low. Give me something like that on gold. I think that'd be a great trade for the day, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Don't want to chase it up to here. Maybe a short opportunity to take this high to come back down, but I don't know if we should be shorting gold. It's being super bullish. Don't want to fight that trend right now. There's the alert for that. Well, next target up at 3172. 3173, call it maybe. Alright, and then oil coming down a lot more than the others at the moment. Down 6%. Looks like it's moving towards 57.60 or so. Swept previous day high. Let's see. Previous day EQ 59.03. Yeah, looks like there'll be a little bit of bounce around there, as well as Monday's high. So that 59 psychological level coming up here, as well as this value area low coming up. That'll be it's already retraced about 50%. It's starting to lose anchor VWAP and the equilibrium of the weekly range. We don't have any volume really in here, so it needs to hold off at the end of this kind of hold right here. Alright, and of course we need to look at Bitcoin. This one's going to be a bit confusing, even though this is a pretty good technical level to retest of this order zone, this volume, this anchored VWAP. I'm just worried that if the larger markets decide to keep retracing, which we're just gonna have to see how we react around here. Any bullish reaction out of here, I think will coincide with probably a good move on Bitcoin off of this level. So we can look at the futures contract. And our weekly range. Oh, look at that. Bitcoin coming up to the previous quarter EQ level. But did come back into value. So we could, yeah. In just a very precarious situation here across all these little markets. Pretty much filled this gap. Now we're looking for a bit of an SR flip here. Come down about 1,000. This, yeah. See if we get a flip of this zone. This little breakdown, order block retest. $81,630. So yeah, I'd be looking for a long on Bitcoin around here, around 80K retest. If the larger markets here, for instance, ES gets a bounce at 5,300. All right, here we go. We're coming up to this big level, 5,300-ish. I guess we're slowly gonna get there, huh? About to get another 15-minute candle closure as well. And Scotty Scheffler's about to tee off. I wonder if I get copyright striked if I had the audio. Probably. Right down the middle of the fairway. Oh, man, it looks so beautiful out there. God, we need to be out there playing golf right now. Fuck the charts. The charts aren't moving at all. Justin Thomas coming up to tee off. God, it looks so beautiful out there. Fuck. It's a nice Thursday morning. Ooh, Thomas over there in the rough. Not good. Not a good start. And then we've got, who's this boy? Oh yeah. An amateur. Man, what a great day. Now we just need a banger trade, man. Come on. Let's get these markets going. Actually, all the big boys are at the Masters right now, you know? They're not at their desks, at the institutional desks. Ooh, gosh, the greens look so good. Slow morning. We do a PPI tomorrow. So another pretty big data release, that is. I guess that was another maybe short continuation opportunity right there off the 53.43 level. Just too low though, below the overnight low to short that. Waiting for this range to be hit. All right, a bit of a down tick right here. Looks like it's just gonna be a slow grind day. Okay, Bitcoin Let's see if maybe there's a possible short out of here. Okay.
Order filled.
I take this short on Bitcoin. I'm gonna look for a little bit lower, around 83.30 or something. Stop. Right above like 82,200. Just a small position. Yes, maybe we get a little one as well here at 53.70. Scheffler putting for birdie. Oh, a lot of spin on that ball. All right, getting a little bit of a reaction off the order block there. See if we can retrace to new lows. We're about to get the initial balance print with this 30-minute closure. So our initial balance low is going to be right here. And the initial balance high will be right about there. And the 2.5352.5. All right, nice push. Let's see if that could translate to, ooh, just missed a lip on the par putt. Gosh, I hate to see it. No follow through yet. We got Justin Thomas putting for about a 5-foot par, 3-foot par. And it's in. And it's in. It's in the hole, baby. Gosh. These mornings have been so bleh. Are we gonna get some new crazy news? Just imagine we get some crazy news that blasts us out of our accounts. Gold. I'm tempted. It's so high up here, but just to look for a continuation trade. This one's gonna be moving and grooving, it looks like, out of here. What is it up at right now? 2.3%. Yeah, that would be a nice retest, eh? Micros, gold. Yeah, that'd be a nice retracement. Scheffler about to tee off on hole 2. Just at the right of the fairway, a little bit in the rough. How about that? All right, Bitcoin going the opposite way at the moment than where I want it to go. But as long as it just retraces out of here, that would be nice. Just like a move down to here.
Order submitted.
What's up, Fireman? Sorry, I just saw your message. How you doing? Yeah, here looking at Bitcoin. So mainly just kind of the overall markets, like the larger markets. I'm expecting at least a little bit of a move down. We're gonna test like 5,300 on ES, but Bitcoin. I'm doing well, thank you. Bitcoin, my issue here is that we didn't get a lot of volume on this news candle from yesterday on the tariff news, and we retested the previous quarter's equilibrium point, came back in. Now I'm just looking to see if we get just a retracement down to this 80K level. And then if we just look at the futures contract, you'll see that the previous week we didn't get into previous week's value overnight. We came back down, retested it bearishly, which means I think we should get a little bit of retracement. We also, yeah, couldn't get up to the previous week point of control. But I don't know. I just have a short from this order block here with a stop above here, so I could easily get a stopped out right here. But I don't have a big risk on me. It just kind of depends on if we get a short out of here on ES possibly. But markets are moving kind of slow this morning, right? So we're just watching the Masters and just waiting. Gold is moving and booming. Yeah, I think like gold's gonna continue. I'd like a little bit of a retracement to 3150. This is gonna go to all-time highs probably today, and it's just moving without us. Yeah, I thought the CPI news would do something as well. I guess they're waiting for tomorrow for PPI news. We have a lot of FOMC. We have a lot of Fed speakers today talking, and I don't know. I guess really the tariff news yesterday overshadowed any of the inflation data. That it just doesn't really matter. I think, yeah, I mean, where it's bounced on spot right now, you know, obviously is the last local high as just an SR flip, but I'd like to see it come down to this anchored VWAP. Oh yeah, were you already short? And then it came back up. Yeah, that was just a crazy day yesterday. I mean, you couldn't predict that. So it's just whatever position you were in is what you had to take, you know? That was tough. Gosh, gold. I just want to get into gold. Oh, you were already short? What were you short at? From where? I didn't have any positions open. I did have a short from up here, but I ended up trailing my stop, and I got like stopped out right here before the big move, which was annoying. Starting point around 79. Oh, so you were shorting it yesterday as it was moving up. So like right around here, trying to make this another lower high. I see what you're doing, but yeah. Oh, the previous day. Okay. Yeah, that's tough because I thought this was going to make new lows. We didn't even make any divergences right here either. This low is going to be taken. There's no way this becomes a double bottom right here, I don't think. Now it's just a point, like, the thing is yesterday yesterday we didn't get any volume on this candle. I mean, not that we necessarily expected it to, but you know, hey Fireman, I appreciate it, bro. Thanks for the follow. I expect if we come back down into this candle, which was a 2.5K move, that we just retrace all of it. I'm not necessarily like, because of the news yesterday, I don't necessarily think we're gonna fully reverse yet. I think this might be some sort of trap, but who knows? I mean, there was a lot of volume. It was a bullish move. It could be a change in sentiment, but who knows? If they come out with like some more, they're like, well, we're not going to stop the we are going to resume the retaliatory tariffs, then shit, anything can happen, honestly. Which is kind of annoying, even though it's still technical. You just don't want to get caught up in a liquidation move. Gosh, there's not really much happening. It's just a little bit of a heavy grind today. Kind of front ran this level that we're looking for down here at 5,300. Could get a short out of here.
Order filled.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a short here on ES to hopefully come back down to the lows. This last little liquidity grab into the fractal here. Let's see if we can at least move down to here for a scalp. There we go. Right now your liquidation is around, oh, here we go. Should start getting a move down here. If you get the Bitcoin one to turn around too, that'd be nice. Liquidation's around 85.5K. What are you trading on? What exchange? Or are you doing a decentralized, or what? Are you doing perps or spot? Well, obviously perps most likely. Perps, liquidation around 85.5. Well, let's see where this could go. Let's do a little bit more analysis here on where I think Bitcoin could go. Let's just zoom out, look at the monthly and the quarterly. All right, so obviously this last quarter was very bearish. It took Q4 of 2024's high and then just swept down, closed pretty close down to its low. locally, we've taken last quarter's low and then come back up into the range at about around 30% of the range. Yeah, pretty much to the 382. Monthly, we are essentially creating a SR flip on this level. Now, I've been wanting a little bit deeper, down to at least 70K, but we do get 1, 2, 3. This is looking kind of like a 3 drives pattern, where you have 3 liquidity sweeps and then move back up. Maybe we get a lower high again and then a move back down. But let's see here. So yeah, really the big level is down here at 70K. Let's see. We haven't closed below these lows. We filled this imbalance pretty much. So definitely have some reasons to get a little bit of a bounce, a relief rally. If we look at some of our momentum oscillators here. Yeah, we were building some bullish divergence on the daily. Then if we look at the volume profile from when this range started all the way up here, we really have to get above. You have your liquidation at 85.5. I think it's going to be really tough getting above 84.5, 84.7. So might be safe, but might want to add some margin. Who knows? But it looks like we could possibly, for now, create a lower high here. Come back and retest in here, and then move down to 70. Only thing is well, you know, funnily enough, this candle the other day, the bullish candle, actually had less. Let me darken. Let me darken these a little bit. 40. Okay, my short is playing out pretty well right now. Actually had less volume than it did on this down tick down here. Obviously, this was a pretty good candle, but I would have loved to seen this liquidity sweep first. At least, you know, on Bitcoin, on Binance, and then move up. But then we have this bullish engulfing. So, you know, you're looking to see, does it trade into this candle from Tuesday? And it has, it's touched the top so far. Probably come down to about the midpoint, around 785. And if we can't really get any support here, then we're just going to probably come down and make new lows. Yeah, starting to get some move out of there. I need to look at my trade. Okay, so this short on ES is working out really nicely right now. We're up 30 points on that. Looking for 53.06 down here for new lows. Yeah. Just got to be careful about shorting down here because we've been moving down for so long now that really any type of short, you're kind of just trying to break down to get that last little bit into 70K, because then we could start maybe an accumulation phase and then get ready to move back up. So just want to be careful with shorting down here for sure, and unless we get, you shorting on these big moves up like that. All right, ES, continue to do your thing. Drop it low, girl. Come on. Yeah, not financial advice, but I do think right now 85.5 is not bad because like I was mentioning, sorry, what was I mentioning? Oh yeah, if we look at just this overall range, this big volume node here ends about right there. Yeah, like 84.6, 84.7. I mean, it's going to be cutting it close, but I think it's going to be kind of tough getting above this 84.5, 84.6 level. And if we do get above there, then yeah, I would imagine we go up, make new highs here locally, and probably continue up a little bit higher. But I'd be watching this 84.5 to 84.7 level like a hawk. And then obviously seeing if we get, you know, a bounce at all over here, because going to be watching this 80K level. If we get a bounce here, then I'd expect to move probably back up to this 84.5, 84.6 level. So if we get a bounce right here to there, otherwise, boom, boom, new lows. What would be a good indicator that it's going down and it wouldn't even reach the 84.7K level?
Order filled.
Hold on, I'm just going to close this ES trade real quick. I think it'll continue going down, but with just how the morning's going, I just want to lock in some more profit here and then just let the Bitcoin short run out. Let me see. What would be a good indicator that it's going down and it won't even reach 84.7K? Let's see. Let me just look at a few things and think about this. Let's see, where is this anchor volume from? I think ooh. Yeah, this is starting to look like it does want to fall over here a little bit more now. Yeah, I would say really any closure back below 79K. So coming down, if you start getting like 15, 30-minute, 1-hour candle closures below 79K, that would be below this uptrend's anchor VWAP as well as this overall one from the most recent high. I think at that point, this would have been just a liquidity grab. We came into this volume node, we rejected. that you would be fine with it going down to at least the new lows down here at 74.5 to take those out. I think that would be your best look. Other than that, you know, looking for gotta kind of look for possible long opportunities out of here. And so I guess what would give you an indicator that you should just cut your short and not wait till it hits your liquidation? Well, that would probably be, okay, I'm glad I closed that. That would probably be yeah, exactly. That would probably be, yeah, really coming down into this 80K level. Really this 79.5 to about 80K. If you see something like this on a 15-minute chart, 15 or 30 minute, let's say we get a tap into here, a little bit of a move out, and then a tap lower, and then a move up to take that high, and then come back into range, and then you see it break. Once it breaks this high right here, that's where I would say, okay, this is probably going back up. I should just either cut my losses or be at break even, or, you know, take whatever profit I have right there. As if I saw something like this on like a 15-minute chart. And then I'd be looking like maybe at volume. And if you see, like, when it comes out of here on this move, if you see volume being a little bit higher than in other areas, I'd be a little worried. Because then, you know, you might be having a corroborating factor there insofar as volume is coinciding with price action. So something like that. All right, so here we go. The short is coming. And now that ES and NASDAQ are coming down to new lows, I think this should start to run down here to the low 80Ks. So we got that short running. We closed the ES short. And gonna be, though, I will say, hopefully Bitcoin gets to my target when it gets down here, because gonna be looking for a potential short-term long here on ES around here, depending on how it reacts. Awesome. Yeah, no worries. Hey, check in my about. Join up in the Discord, because I'll probably be on the stream for like another 30 minutes or so, and then I'll just be in Discord all day. And we talk about, you know, stocks and crypto and stuff in there. So join that up if you want. Oh yeah, we're coming down now. Man, we're just not gonna get that gold long though.
Order canceled.
Alright, coming down to new lows. 1 hour candles, I don't think it, look, so you can kind of divvy it up. So I think I use 15-minute probably the most, trading in between 15-minute points of interest, supply and demand areas. But anything with 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, those are all kind of good mid time frame, like throughout the day, or day trading supply and target zones. I don't think necessarily one is better than the other. I think it's actually better to kind of cycle through all of them, and until you see a prettier picture. If price is being painted in a prettier or more digestible way on the hour, then look at the hour. If it's starting to look a little bit more digestible, like on a 15-minute, look at a 15-minute. And then let's say you find, an hour POI. Let's say like down here we have a fractal from where price made new highs. This is an hourly position, but then we can go down into the 15-minute and we can start looking a little bit deeper into it. We can look at 15 minutes inside of the 1 hour. We can go down even farther, look at 5 minutes within the 1 hour POI. And we can see, there was a big wick right here that hasn't been filled. So maybe when it comes down here, if we refine it, this is the area to watch out for, is this level. But I will say 30-minute. So if you're familiar with TPO, time price opportunity charts, which are also on here on TradingView. I actually haven't used them on TradingView, but I've used them on other software. But like the stock market, it opens up at 9:30 a.m. It closes at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and they label their sessions A, B, C, D, E, or whatever. And those are based off of 30-minute time intervals. So I do think looking at the 30-minute, if you don't know what time frame to use, to default to the 30-minute, because that's kind of what that's kind of the staple in a lot of the assets, and in like the traditional way of labeling time-based session intervals is usually on the 30-minute. So if I'm not entirely sure, I kind of just default to the 30-minute candle. All right, we're getting a good move now. This short is working out on Bitcoin. That means ES should almost be down to the target. But as we can see, coming down nicely here. See if we get a reaction at 80K. Yep. Yep, so we took the short out of here, right? Got a little close to the stop loss, but this is a nice rejection. You see this candle, this inverted hammer coming up into there on the 30-minute as well. Yeah, on the 30-minute. So you can see that the 30-minute is showing us a really beautiful picture that there was a lot of selling pressure coming in here that wants to move price down. So I think we come down at least another 1,000 here. And this is, I'm looking at futures, but even on perps, we were watching this. And then we're going to see if we get something like this. If we get some sort of formation like this, then I'm going to be looking for, looking up for 84.5. Otherwise, we're looking for new lows, right? But this 80K area will be the fulcrum, the pivot point. Dragon! Grand Rising, Dragon. Going good, man. We've had a pretty good, lucrative morning. Just going over the charts, doing a little bit of trading. The golf tournament, the Masters is on, so I got the Masters just watching. I'm on RuneScape, just splashing chickens right now. Training my mage. The sun is shining. Dragon's in the chat. I mean, it's going. How you doing? I got my coffee. I got my cantaloupe. I mean, we can't complain. Oh, God. What was that? Oh, gosh, Justin. Damn. Looking for this Bitcoin short to play out still. Yeah, what are you up to, man? Yeah, this is looking good. If we get let's see how this 5 minutes playing out. Yeah, I wouldn't expect price to come back above like here on the short, so I probably would like want to trail my stop right around here. Looking good, looking good. Looking good still for continued downside. Looking for about another $700, $800 move. Oh yeah, and if nobody has joined the Discord, join up if you want. Description or links are also in the description. But building out the Discord, we got the RuneScape chat, we've got the stocks and crypto, the music, the schizo stuff, some resources. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, man. Discord's the best, honestly. Try to get that going. I'm still trying to build it out and add new things, but I'm just learning day by day on what to add. I need to, I've been meaning to get Discord Nitro. Might do that today and start adding some custom emotes to the Discord as well. But we did an event last night in the calendar. I have a... So I'm streaming both on Twitch and YouTube. I don't really get any views on the YouTube, but so anything that like gets streamed on here from a trading perspective is also at least saved and archived publicly on my YouTube to be able to go over. And last night we went over kind of some introductory stuff for some of the boys that are new to the charts and whatnot. Just went over TradingView, the market, how candlesticks work, ranging, trending in markets, market structure, whatnot, so not. And so that's on the YouTube. Oh, wow. Glad we closed this short out here on ES. This is what I'm saying is this type of market right now, it's just a rangy environment where we're not getting any fall through or any trends. We're just getting sweeps from one side to the other. Buy high, sell low. Buy the tip, sell the dip. Oh, I need to add that as a quote. Is there? Yeah, there's a link here. I can link just YouTube. But all this stuff is in my link tree below. But the most recent video, I've got it under educational content, and I'm gonna start adding stuff in there as we go. Let's see. Alright, still splashing over here. That's good. Haven't died to the chickens yet. Things are starting to slow up a little bit. Just a slow morning. We don't really have any news either throughout the day. We do have a bond auction at 1, which I think could be kind of interesting due to the fact that 10-year yields have moved quite a bit over the last few days. There's been a lot of volatility, so the 30-year bond, it might give us a little bit of insight into how much interest there is in long-term investment in the U.S. Let's see how that might adjust yields. Yeah, S&P 500. So Dragon, this right here, ES, kind of what we've been trading all the time. That's what we're essentially trading, is the S&P 500. So yeah, like you would probably be looking to the SPY, like the ETF, the S&P 500 ETF. And I agree with you. It's not really the best time. We did have a good move. I think we can still get some more downside though. But if you're not entirely sure on when you want to buy or whatnot, but you want to nibble, you could just start, not financial advice, you can just start nibbling. Like, let's just say you want to put $1,000 ultimately in the position. You could start nibbling like $100 here, and like every single time that kind of goes down, you add like another $100 or something, and just slowly build a position as it kind of like goes down, you know, and then wait. Because the issue is like, it's hard to time sometimes, you know, because we could just go up like this right here, and then you're not really in a position. So when it comes from like long-term stuff like that, that's not a bad option. But I do believe that, yeah, the market's real volatile. I think that this move up, even though it was on really good news, it's still looking from a technical standpoint. You know, it's still bearish. It's still a lower high. So I'm not totally convinced that we're going back up yet at all. So we're just going to keep trading the charts. Let the news do its thing, but not really make much decisions off of news. All right, here we go. Bitcoin's starting to tick down again. It's been a good morning. Some good trades this morning. Very relaxed today. Not a lot of risk. Good management. Yep, here we go. Let's go, baby. Gosh, unfortunate we're not getting the gold continuation trade. Phil Mickelson on hole number 5. Down we go. This looks like a pretty good 5-minute candle closure. We came up, created pretty much a buy to sell interaction. Here's this order block, and came down and closed. So even if it retraces real quick, you get one more little opportunity of continuation down here. Now, I'm not expecting a massive move down necessarily yet, but we are looking good for at least the target. And then ES is coming into this big zone that we've been watching. 52.85 to 53.05. Yeah, Dragon, sort of. One of the things. Supplementary, I suppose. Here and there, depending on how good we do. Which reminds me, I need to look at some other stuff. There we go, good down tick. Sorry, hopefully that's not too loud on your ears. All right, we're still moving. Looking good.
Order filled.
All right. There we go. Close that short from up here. For a decent little gain. Only reason why I'm closing it is because I want to look at ES and possibly manage a trade off of here. So see if we get any sort of reaction. Usually the same type of thing, you know, something like this. Like to see. coming up to this level here on ES. It's going to be a big level, I feel like, for the day, rest of the day. If we start to lose this, I think the afternoon session we probably retrace quite a bit. So, see if we possibly get yeah, Dragon, but the thing is you have such polarizing camps, you know. You have people that see them as crazy because they're like super they're super crazy about them in a good way, and then you have people on the other side that are super crazy about them in a bad way, you know. There's not a lot of middle ground. But I mean, a lot of it is just media, but it also is true. I think for people, I mean, most people are very monotonous robots, can't handle extremes, ups and downs. So a lot of people see even just the slightest uptick in volatility, let's just use this trading as a term, as crazy, or anything that's a little bit different than them as crazy. But look, there's a saying, everybody's crazy until they're a genius, right? You think of like someone that invented something crazy, everyone's calling them crazy until 100 years later, you're looking at hindsight, they were a genius. And I'm not saying that's the case for Trump or Musk. I don't have any say or so on the matter. I'm just, it is true. The media, you know, obviously overinflates any negative or even any positive. There's so much propaganda going out there. It's hard to know what to believe anymore. But I just kind of just run in the camp that, you know, anything that I don't have control over, it doesn't even matter, to be honest. Yeah, the whole Tesla thing is crazy. A lot of people, or at least what the media is trying to purport, or what people are complaining about when it comes to Elon Musk, is that because he's not an elected bureaucrat, and that like he shouldn't be having so much political influence in the U.S., which, you know, is not a wrong statement necessarily, right? And so, you know, you have people that are getting paid from bad actors to actually like disrupt, you know, his financial well-being and in Tesla and whatnot. And, you know, that's probably all by design and all part of some sort of propaganda spree, whether it's warranted or not, I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of like that going on. I don't know. I mean, I don't think anybody should necessarily be pillaging and plundering businesses. It's probably not good for you know, an economy, or just for the state of your country's psyche and well-being. It starts to make it seem more like a mental asylum. Yeah, the Lindsay talk. See, the thing is like I've come to the point where I just believe everything that we see on TV or anything that they want you to see is all just a form of theater, you know. So I don't even know if it's real. Like I could imagine them just like discussing beforehand. Now we're gonna do this, and we're gonna create this kind of discourse and controversy, and it's gonna be, you know, all part of some sort of agenda. Like I just think that's more likely than it is that just it randomly happens, to be honest. I think there's a global hegemony. In other words, there's, you know, a global power, and they have their roots within every government and country. I don't think each country is really acting independently. Whoever the big rulers and leaders and big monies in any country are all speaking together. They're all working together. You know, all that other stuff is just for the fodder for the sheep, just for the normies, you know, so that they can be distracted and get their you know, entertainment and their dopamine shots from the controversy. And behind the scenes, they're all just like, look at these fucking idiots eating up our soup like it's clam chowder, you know? I think that's probably more likely. You got to think about, like, most people in the world, I mean, most people have, you know, a lower IQ, like the average, the bell curve. You know, there's a bell curve for a reason. But also, like, a lot of people, and this is hard to conceptualize if you are somebody that is able to have their own inner dialogue and thoughts. But there's a lot of people out there that actually don't even have, like, an inner dialogue. Like, so going throughout the day, they're not even, like, they don't even have thoughts pop up in their head. They're not having any of these, like, conscious existential thoughts or experiments or thinking, you know, of, like, why am I thinking this? Why am I reacting like this? Why am I emotional? They're not, a lot of people aren't even able to abstract that far. And so I feel like you have to almost distance yourself just from the normie crowd and just try to think of, like, why would they eat stuff like this up? Yeah, exactly. They're all ripping upper 90s right now, Dragon. Fireman, yeah. They're ripping upper 90s, one pumping each other in like a custom lobby. Yep, Fireman. Looks like we're looking pretty good now. Fireman, we're coming up to, you know, the target on, at least my target on the short. So we're, you know, probably going to start looking for possible long opportunities out of here. And ES is starting to get that was a pretty decent candle. But I'm going to see how this 30-minute candle plays out here. Nice. Very nice. Sometimes it's better just to cut your losses or exit at break even than it is trying to, like, go back. Because the worst thing is when you get into a losing trade and you happen to hold on to it, but then it comes back at least to your entry price. And then you're like, oh shit, well, it might go down. And then you don't actually just take the loss and reassess. And then it goes back up and then you end up getting liquidated. I can't tell you how many times in my career that's happened for me to have to learn to just cut the loss and just get into a new trade, you know? Like, you got, you know, you lost some drawdown, whatever, and then it came back and you got saved. Just take that as a win from the gods and move on to the next one, right? Yep. I mean, as you know, like, really this whole game is based around your emotions and psychology. I mean, like, everybody knows really the same levels, you know? It's not hard to really identify the levels or to get into a position. It's just hard managing it. That's really where all the money comes in, is understanding risk management, understanding how you feel when certain things happen, not catching greed, not catching FOMO, being super patient. That's a huge one. That's the one that I've had to work on a lot, is just, like, being patient and not over trading and just waiting for the things to come to you. But it is, I mean, it's that's what's such beautiful about trading and just investing, and the journey in and of itself is that it's such a battle with your inner self and your inner demons. And it also translates into, you know, life. With just being patient, accepting losses, knowing things come and go. Well, Fireman, I just say, yeah, they say, you know, the losing money in the market, that's how you pay your tuition. That's your university tuition for the market. And you're gonna feel all those pains, but at least just start, you know, identifying why you're feeling this way and whatnot, and just know that, like, it is going to take longer than you think to reach, you know, where you want to go. It's a long process. I've been doing this for years, and it took me years to even get to a point of where I could be a little bit profitable. And I'm ashamed to say it because I feel like I could have done it faster, but it takes longer, or it takes not as much time depending on who you are. Just everyone's mental state is a little bit different. But that's why, yeah, join the Discord and we'll be learning together and growing. And I'm trying to do these streams in the morning a lot more frequently, and then do some like educational ones, and then of course the gaming RuneScape stuff. Got to do that. All right, yeah. So looking good here on the short still. Ooh. Oh, what was that? He flubbed it. Looks like we're not going to get this bounce on ES, which bodes well for the Bitcoin short continuing. But wow, okay, like I said, we're not really getting any bullish reaction out of here. This is going to get kind of scary here. We could really retrace pretty far. I mean, this whole candle. Let's see. I mean, we're not out of the woodworks yet. It could literally just bounce around here, but this 30-minute candle being pretty bearish and kind of giving us another possible continuation short opportunity here. I mean, let's see if we start getting closures. We did get a closure below this level that I was looking at, and we took this little low. But also just gotta mention, you know, this is where we were looking for long, so don't want to get too hasty with it. Yep. Yep, we could get a big move down. Damn. Unfortunate, I don't still have this short. Closed it off way too early once again. Closed that short last night way too early. This one too early, but hey, profit is profit. Losing that pivot. Yeah, that's right. Can't go broke taking profit, but can go broke for sure not taking profit. Ain't that right? And we're not trying to be millionaires on paper. We need to realize those gains. But all right, it's a little bit past 11:30 here in the morning on the eastern coast of the United States of America. I'm gonna call it a morning session of quits for now. But Fireman, appreciate you coming to the chat. Dragon, much love. Six Felony. I'll be doing this tomorrow morning as well, so I'll be here I'll be in the Discord, of course. I plan on streaming tonight. I might do one little education stream tonight, but I plan on also streaming RuneScape tonight. So I'll be back on Twitch later today, but gonna go do some other stuff for now. And yeah, no worries. Good luck on the trades today. Be safe, locking those profits, and that's all we can ask for. And you know what time it is? It's wonky time, baby.